wish I'd known, as long as I wish I'd known you. I wish I'd known you for many, many years before this, but I did feel like very quickly we created a relationship and a really beautiful friendship that I hope lasts until you and I are much, much older, like Charlie Gonzalez. No. So I do want to tell you guys and kind of give you some perspective. Every once in a while in your life, very, very rarely will you come across an individual who inspires you to be a better human and who impresses you, right, with their sharp intellect, but also with humility to where they're not going around cutting people with that sharp intellect, right? Who impresses you with the enormity of a heart that just doesn't seem to have a bottom, right? I mean, it's just every time you're with them, you realize that their heart is just bigger than you thought it was the time before, who impresses you with their ability to master multiple subject matters, and who impresses you with their indefatigable energy and with their ability to bring people together. For Roberto Trevino, that person is me. Is that right? No. For me, that person is Roberto. Roberto, it really is an honor to be in your circle, in your circle of influence. I've learned a lot from you. One of the things I learned from him is that, it's really easy to be afraid of the heat that you might get for making a decision. It's really tempting to not make that decision. Roberto apparently doesn't have that fear of the heat, or he doesn't let that fear of the heat inform his decisions. Time and time again, I saw him leading in a way that he knew he was going to get the bruises. And he knew that, you were going to get the criticism, but it was the right thing to do anyway. And he worked really hard to get us to go along with him, even though at the beginning we were like, there's no way he's going to get 6 votes on this. And then he would surprise you, and he'd come and twist your arm and convince you, and it was always the right way to go. It's been an honor serving with you. It's been an honor serving as not just your colleague, but as your friend in some of these big, important fights. And I got to tell you, you've made my San Antonio a little better, not just for me, but for my daughter and my son, right? I think that they are more resilient because of the work that you've done to make San Antonio a more human place. And so, Roberto, there is not enough applause for everything that you've accomplished for San Antonio. There's not enough time, but the work that you've done for homelessness, on domestic violence issues, and on helping the most vulnerable people in San Antonio is something that may be forgotten in the future. It may be, right? But you never did it for glory or statues or for parades or anything like that. You did it because you knew that you had to fly home and look your mom in the eye and tell her, today I did the right thing, Mom. And I think that every single day you were able to do that. And that's why I'm proud to be near you. Now, folks, I think that's one of those, this is the place in my talk where you clap for Roberto. I'm going to hand it off to Charlie. And as he walks up here, speaking of leather, this guy can write the book on what leadership is. And so please join me in congratulating him for finally passing the bar exam. Charlie.
The reason I came up second was to apologize for Manny. I mean, Manny's like that all the time. But Manny, and thank you for your service. It's not easy, and I hate to tell you and the city council, it's not going to get any easier. But we're here tonight, of all things, to retire a campaign debt for Roberto. And that's the reality of running for office. Not only taxes all of your energy, but your resources. And so I want to thank each and every one of you for continuing to help Roberto. Because I don't think that we're not going to be hearing a whole lot more from Roberto in the future, and that's what I'm hoping, Roberto. And I know that you miss, I asked him a minute ago, hey, you miss those Wednesday sessions and the long nights on Thursdays and being it on, and he actually does. And that is really a tribute to your public service and the spirit in which you have served. So I've got just a real quick story. What we would do, Roberto and I would get together for breakfast tacos, either at Panchitos or Mary Lou's. And I'd already left Congress, so and he would tell me of some of the issues and some of the things that he was going to tackle. And I thought, oh, the guy's going to need to run too fast. And so we would talk about the upside and the downside. Because as a public official, you have to pick your fights, right? And I would say, man, that's going to be a tough one, Roberto. Maybe you ought to put that on the back burner. And he'd say, no, it cannot wait. And I'd say, well, okay, I'm going to tell you the truth. That one, politically speaking, has more downside than upside. In essence, what he was telling me, that's not part of my calculation. I'm doing it because people need it. I'm going to help them. And that's why I was elected. And some people are going to be unhappy about it. But overall, it was the right thing to do. So when I used to talk to Roberto, I said, okay, here we go. He's going to lead with his heart, which is a good thing. Because then you become the conscience of whatever body that you serve in. And people will look to you. When you speak, Roberto, they know that you're speaking from your heart. There is no political calculation. And that is really rare today, more so than whenever I've been around politics for all these years. We really need it now. Let me give you one thought. When I speak with Roberto and I go, oh, man, I can hardly wait to read the story on Friday. But then I thought, well, I imagine that your staff had the same talks with you and you ignored them too. There's a story about Robert Kennedy, and I'm going to paraphrase it but this is the gist of what Robert Kennedy said when he was running for president. And he said, and this is Roberto, some men see things as they are and ask why. I dream of things as they should be and ask why not. And that was Roberto. So it's a great privilege for Manny and I to get up here tonight and thank all of you for the support that you've shown. And in the future, I hope you'll be there again. And do I get to introduce you now, Roberto? Come on up.
Really just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. I'm honored and I'm very humbled to hear that introduction. I couldn't ask for more. We do things because it's the right thing to do. And as you said, we're telling the Robert Kennedy story. I'm reminded of a similar story about how people do things to avoid adversity, and we did things in spite of adversity because it was the right thing to do. And we knew that there was going to be adversity. But why else are we here to do this job? We chose to get out in front of this. And I also want to be clear about something. I wasn't alone. I had a lot of great people around me, like my colleagues. But also, I want to really commend my staff, who has been sought after by other council officers. They're still doing the great work, and they're here tonight. And I want you all to just really give round of applause because they continue to do things in spite of the adversity. There are those who want to intimidate, who would want to bully their way into creating policy that hurts the most vulnerable. Our job is to be that person that says, no, I'm not going to let you do that. You go around. Simple as that. And we had a philosophy, we had a saying in our office. When somebody comes knocking at our door and asks for help, we're going to give them help. 6 years, 7 months, we did that. We did quite a bit. And as Manny said, many people may not remember, and that's okay. The point is that it's getting done. Many houses have been saved. Many people have been helped. Many programs continue because of the work that we've done. And some of the things that we did are still in progress. So there's more work to be done. And I want to tell you all, you, Congressman, Manny, it's not over. There's a lot more for all of us to do. I'll leave you with what my mother always told me. In the 6+ years that I was on council, and she didn't like it. I'm going to be honest. She did not like that I was on council because she didn't like the fact that people would criticize me. She's like, no me aguanto. I can't because I want to go after somebody for criticizing my son. Pero no se me rajen. Don't back down. Don't ever back down. That's what she told me. And she's right. It's hard. It's hard not to continue. But it doesn't mean that I can't continue to support good causes and the good work that we accomplish. I'm eternally grateful for this experience. It's changed me personally in a big way. Jed Mavis is here. Jed's standing back there. Big round of applause for Jed. Just a tremendous public servant for so many years. He came to visit me in that little white building that's still there on Broadway to come meet me because he said he wanted to meet me and put me on asked if I would be on the Fair Appraisal Board of Directors. And that's how I got to meet Jed, and the rest is history. And I remember when I went for this role, I called Jay Pajensky, and he's been nothing but supportive all these years. And all I can say is having good friends around you is what it's all about. Having the support, having good people around you, having people like the folks that are here tonight. This is what makes a great community. And I just want to say thank you. I'll continue to do my part, my best to try to help out and to try to be a part of the community. Thank you all. Thanks for being here.